xSports Network.
Do you have a small farm, a big farm, or just critters in the backyard to feed? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you need to make the short drive down to A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee today. Owner and operator Jamie Ayers has you covered and will treat you right. That's A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee. Don't be left with stumps, overgrown trees, and cluttered land. Make the call today to Bayworth Trimming, licensed, bonded, and insured. Proudly serving the region with years of know-how. Call today 931-300-3554 or visit bayworthtrimming.com.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we provided outstanding residential and commercial services through southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air, when you need us, we'll be there.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Introducing Cloud9 Fiber to Lawrenceburg. We take great pride in being the only locally owned and operated internet company within Lawrenceburg and Lawrence County. We're now offering up to gigabit services with plans starting at $50 per month. Surf the internet with blazing fast speeds and reliability, all while keeping your investment within Lawrence County. For more information, visit cloud9fiber.com to request for us to build your area next. Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
From the xSports Network, this is xSports Live, presented by Hinie's BBQ.
Welcome everybody back here to Hinie's BBQ for another xSports Live. AJ Good joined alongside Clint Brazier and Cam Mashburn.
Spit it out, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've been talking a lot the last few days. We've had a lot of games and a lot to talk about, and obviously we got a lot to get to here. And guys, it's been busy couple weeks here, district tournaments, now region tournaments, had a region final last night, but we're going to start with that epic in Cookeville with the Lawrence County boys taking on White County, a 17-point comeback, almost sealed the deal there. And at Tennessee Tech, two teams that were not afraid to shoot it in the big building, were not afraid to make it, and it I mean, we're going to be talking about that game, how crazy that game was and how great that game was, even though it wasn't in Lawrence County's favor.
Well, I'll let you guys talk on it the most because y'all two were there and called it, but just watching it at home, it was a really fun ball game to watch. I felt really bad that you caught it back up and then lose it the way they do, but, you know, I want to, first of all, this time of year, you need to really give the seniors a send-off.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Maddox, Carter Hughes, and then Cade, of course. Cade only gets to play a few games, this year. But
one game.
But what was it? Just the Giles County game? It was right after that. Man.
No, it was one game. That's all they played, right? Giles County.
He was there for the opener when they had Rogers at home, so he played in the Rogers game and then Giles County. So
okay.
I need to look at the schedule, but he didn't play.
That doesn't matter, but either way, what those kids have done is they've set the tone, because me and you've talked off air. It's going to be really exciting to watch that bunch play next year. They're going to be really exciting. I get it. You lost 3 great kids, but they're going to be really exciting to watch next year. And I was at home screaming at the TV, listening to you and Cam's call, other than every once in a while saying, Cam don't know what he's talking about.
But I was dead on, man.
He actually was. He was really
dead on
the other night.
He was. Hey, he's good when it's not Loretta.
I don't know about that. See, I don't even go. That's not. I'm fair. I mean, unless it's well. I don't know. They got a chuckle from the table next to us too. So he's choking down a brisket or rib or something over here. But in all seriousness, it was. As good as White County shot them, and they did it again last night. By the way, I don't know if you saw that.
They win again last night.
Big over Stone Memorial, and they shot the ball everything they threw up. And they're just on a heater.
Yeah.
And for a team that shot 80% from the field in the first half, 86% from 3-point line in the first half, for Lawrence County to only be down 17 in the third, it was pretty remarkable, because they were shooting the ball well. They had some things they could clean up, and when they went to the zone defense, that matchup zone, kamikaze defense, whatever, there was no structure.
Yeah.
There might have been, but they went out of it really quick. It worked.
Right.
And I am glad that you told me off air, because I knew y'all both had lost y'all's mind on the call. But, watching it as good as we do with ours, I thought that it was an obvious goaltend.
Yeah, when it hits the backboard like that, it should be automatic.
And I'm watching it and saying there's no way.
But for a second.
But you also got to keep in mind, I've done this enough to know that people that watch it may react different than what I'm seeing calling the game. So I'm like, well, maybe they're just overreacting a little bit.
Yeah.
No.
But apparently, just from everybody I've talked to, I don't know how that wasn't called a goaltend.
Bad.
The only thing I can think of is give them a little credit.
Yeah.
They're not used to making that call. That's not a call high school referees make very often, because you typically don't have kids that athletic.
That can go up that high.
Right. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. And I've seen it called once or twice this year, not necessarily in that fashion, but there is some kids that can do it. But I'm guessing that's just not a call they make very often. So once they realize it, 5 or 6 seconds later, you can't
go back and redo it. But it was, I was so impressed with both teams. Lawrence County, it took them, and you can tell, and to a couple of the kids I've talked to, they've admitted that it took them a little bit to adjust to that gym. The first couple threes they shot were 2 feet over the basket. But once they got a hang of it, we know they're not afraid to shoot.
Well, look,
once they got going,
I don't care who you are.
It was great.
2018, it's the first time since they've played a second-round region game, right? 2018?
15.
No. Since they played a second round.
It was 2015 was the last time they got that far.
I thought it was 18. So, either way, that still proves my point.
Yeah.
None of these kids knew what that situation was like, whether it was going to Murfreesboro and playing in that region, whether it was hosting at home and playing a second-round region game. They didn't know what that. So, that's just more kudos to those kids that they were down 17 points and came back and had a chance to win that ball game.
Yeah,
a lot of fighting lot of fighting that team.
Just like Cam pointed out from the get-go. They had that. You got to go out there with chaos, kamikaze defense, really no structure to it, which completely threw them off. Because I went back and watched a lot when that comeback started happening. The shots that White County was hitting, they were passing up, and kids, their eyes were this big. Like,
because guys were coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
They would have 3 guys coming at. That's not typical. That's not something you see.
Yeah.
And sometimes a little street ball is what you need.
Yeah.
Exactly. They do play that way on offense a lot.
Yeah.
When they went that way on defense, and the biggest thing is they started contesting the shots in the middle. And that's what the zone allowed them to do, is to collapse in and pack the zone in. And so because if a team's going to hit threes like that, okay, what do you mean? There's not a lot you can do about it. Yeah. But you can not let them drive in and get easy layups, and they were getting a lot of those in the first half.
Didn't get them in the second
half.
They
didn't get them in the second half. They made the adjustment.
And put them at the line. They missed 9 free throws.
There you go.
I mean, especially right there at the end, it's 71-70, and they missed 2 free throws. And like I mentioned, talking with somebody last night, White County had 3 guys that can they only had 1 guy that came off the bench. They had 4 guys that can handle the ball, 2 that couldn't. And everyone for Lawrence County can handle the ball. And that was the difference. Also, big shout out to Alex Bedford, probably hit the shot of the year.
Unbelievable.
0.7 seconds left, nothing but net from well beyond across the court.
That was a confident looking shot.
Yeah.
And then Luke hit one going into halftime from the corner for 3. I mean, but it wasn't as good as Alex's. Sorry, Luke. But
Lawrence County School's closed tomorrow.
I think,
But it was, it's a game we're going to be talking about for a long time, and just unfortunate that Lawrence County just happened to be on.
At the end of the day, they had a chance.
Absolutely.
And one of the parents said after me, "I wish if we were going to lose it, I wish we just stayed down." No, you don't. I mean, in the moment, it probably stings a lot more to lose it that way. 10 years from now, you'll look back on that game and it's like, man, we were down 17 and we had a shot.
Yeah, and we took the lead with under a minute
left. That says more about you
shot.
as a character than it does anything else.
And look at what they got coming back next year. It's a lot of exciting stuff going on.
They're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be fun to call next year.
And moving ahead, the Lawrence County girls obviously lost a close game there against a very good Livingston Academy team. One of the rare games where you're tied after every quarter, which you don't see that often. The first halftime, third quarter, and unfortunately, a bad start there in the fourth quarter just happened to be the difference there. But they, talk about a team, they were down 10 early on in the first quarter. They came back, got that thing to 0, and they had some opportunities. And Livingston Academy is not an easy team, and at times there, I thought this Lawrence County team was really going to pull it out.
Well, I want to give, first of all, a lot of credit to Coach Scott. Mm-hmm. You lose that Tullahoma game, that pretty much tells you you're going to have to travel. Yeah. She had her team ready to go. Mm-hmm. They went to Livingston in a very tough environment. Yeah. I've played there before. Yeah. That's a very tough environment. On top of that, you find a way. I hate it for those kids because they cut it. You get it to 2. You get it to a 1-possession game, and then next thing you know, you just can't catch up. Right. You've got an opportunity to tie it. You've got an opportunity to take the lead, and you don't hit the shot, and they go. And you just can't cut it to a 2-possession game there at the end. Right. But let me tell you something. It would have been real easy for them to be real downhearted after losing to Tullahoma. But they had a really good win their last game. Those 4 seniors had a really good win against a good Page team at home to finish their career at Lawrence County High School. And then they go on the road, and they left it all out there. And that's all you can ask as a coach, as a fan, as a parent. That's all you can ask, for them to just go leave it out there. And I don't think anybody on that team can say, I didn't, might not have played. Some kids might say I didn't play the best, or some kids could say I didn't do this or didn't do that. But I don't think anybody on that roster could say I didn't play as hard as I could play.
No, and they did, and they left it out there. And like we said, all you want is a chance at the win in it, and chance in the end to win it, and they did, and played really hard, had to overcome some adversity, and unfortunately, it's the game of basketball. The breaks sometimes just don't go your way.
Yep.
And moving ahead to the Loretto and Summertown boys, making it to that region first round, and unfortunately weren't able to come out on top. The Summertown boys, I mean, they took Fairview kind of down to the wire there.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'll let you talk on the Loretto, because all I really saw in the Loretto game against Heritage was the score, because we were playing at the same time.
Right.
But Summertown, that Fairview team, we'll get updates tonight to see how Giles County is doing against them. Hey, nod to Coach Nick Campbell. I mean, he's got his bunch. They won a big game to be in that region championship, but they're playing Fairview tonight. Mm-hmm. But I talked to Coach Long and I talked to Coach Jean and try to get a little bit of a scouting report and know what they knew on Fairview. And apparently their best player tore his ACL. and was out before Summertown played him. And I said, well, you hate that as a former player and as somebody that has 3 kids that have played. You don't wish that on. You don't want that. You're not going to feel good about that. Yeah. But if you're Summertown, you were like, well, this got a little easier. Yeah. And let me tell you something. Fairview's the real deal. Yeah. If they were missing their best player and was that good, because I'm calling up the starting lineups on our broadcast, and it was like 6'2", 6'2", 6'4", 6'4", 6'7". I was like, holy crap.
They're big.
But now I'll give Summertown, the young Summertown Eagles team, credit.
Fought hard.
They got down. They cut it to 7 at the end of the first quarter. They cut it to 4 at the end of the first half. They cut it to 2 late in the third quarter. But then Fairview just kind of took over, and they did. If you're Coach Long, this is the last basketball broadcast I guess we'll have. Right. Maybe we might have one next week if we have some teams in the state tournament. We don't know. But Coach Long, I know he's got to be happy with what he knows he's got coming back. Your 3 main scorers, your 3 leading scorers, you're probably your 3 best players. We're all sophomores. Yeah. If he can get some freshmen developed, talent-wise, and going, sky's the limit next year. I think you're looking at another Summertown-Loretta rivalry in all the way district region, just like it has been, just because of how young those 2 teams are.
Yeah,
well, it's going to get a lot easier next year because Giles County leaves and
comes to Lawrence County.
Well, yeah, right. District, right. Just 4 teams in district, and then you got region's going to be a lot different. But anyway, Loretta, it was a carryover game. They shot the ball poorly in the district championship, and then was it district championship?
Yeah. That was just an ugly game. Giles County.
Yeah. So they played. I thought they played really good against Summertown a couple nights. That Friday before, and you're like, okay, this team's peaking. Maybe or they were onto something. But then they just did not shoot the ball. Couldn't hit free throws, and that carried over down at the barn. They just couldn't hit free throws. You hit your free throws, it's a different game. Right. I think they shot 40%, 50% on the line. You're not gonna win many games doing that. And they shot a lot of free throws, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to give a shout out, Mr. John Flatt. I need to get him some Summertown gear. He says Loretta is lucky to have Cam call their games. Man, whoa. John,
he's a big fan, man.
I got to get you some Summertown gear or something, buddy.
Well, moving ahead now to the girls. We got 2 teams remaining. The Summertown Loretta girls had a region championship game last night, and each team dealing with injuries, season-ending injuries. Loretta with Libby Sanders, Summertown with Abby Jo Schaefer and Reese Wilson, and that's kind of basically one team hit shots, the other team didn't. One team had the rebounding edge, and now Summertown goes on the road to Westview, and Loretto gets another game at the barn tomorrow night.
So let me start because I wasn't there, and I'll let you, because you were for a brief minute anyway. You were there.
I was there all the way until 3 minutes. Oh, I was there the whole time. I didn't leave.
It wasn't my choice.
I was told to leave. But
so, you're a parent, though. I mean, you're excused, right? Something changed with Loretto the game before when it was played Sycamore. You and I saw that, or we all saw that. They were down much like Lawrence County, and I don't think they were down 17, but they were down double digits. Yeah. And you saw a team basically will themselves to win. Yeah. You had kids stepping up that hadn't played those meaningful minutes in quite some time this year, and they were stepping up in big moments and hitting big shots and doing big stuff, and you saw that, and you're like, maybe, is this a one-off deal? Yeah. Because sometimes a team can do that for one game, and then they have a letdown. They didn't. What I saw the game last night or listened to, unfortunately I couldn't make it, but they didn't have a letdown, and that may be what carried, because I think at this time last year you saw a team that was on their heels a little bit. Yeah. And Summertown exploited that in the region championship, and then you go up to Westview, which that was a tough matchup. But this year I think it's the opposite. I think a team they hit a lull. They were 3-7 from December 10th to January, like that first Summertown game. They were 3-7 in that stretch of games. you didn't know what I mean, but they found a way, and they keep improving as the season went on, and so I think the trajectory is still climbing. If they can get to Murfreesboro, they might make some noise.
And one more game in the barn.
That's crazy. I would have never thought that was. Honestly, I told Coach Rutledge that this morning. I said I never would have dreamed that this is where we'd be. I really didn't. I didn't think that, but kudos to them.
Yep. We get a couple games Saturday. Me and you, Clint, will be out in Westview, and Cam will be there in the barn.
Well, let me give I don't think they still know what is actually wrong with Libby Sanders. Yeah. She just has no feeling in her legs, and I hate that. That unknown, especially when you're a parent, is really tough. And I hate it that she hadn't got to play the last couple of games. But let me touch on our two kids. Abby Jo Schaefer and Reese Wilson have been playing from district tournament on. Have been playing really, really well, and I really hate it. I got a phone call from Reese today. I coached Reese since she was in the 3rd grade, and I got a phone call from her, and she's crying that it was not the news anybody wanted to hear. She did tear her ACL, and so she, her basketball career is ended, and she didn't get to play. She hadn't got to play the last 2 games, and won't get to play anymore, no matter how far we go. So I hate that for that kid, and I can't talk about it longer. I'll start crying, but yeah, the other night it was pretty good mismatch game. Summertown, when they did get some looks, did not hit the shot. Summertown only hit four threes, which is not accustomed to Summertown. Jeannie Beth Clifton has had a heck of a region tournament. I got to give her credit for Loretta.
Oh my gosh!
And as far as the rebounds go, with Summertown missing the 2 losses Summertown has, and their players were 2 post players, and it showed rebounding wise. And I'm not going to use. It would be disrespectful to Loretta to use it as an excuse that we were without 2 post players, because it's. You got to play with what you got. And Loretta came out and they played hard, and they were shooting the ball well inside, outside. They rebounded well. They shot free throws well. And I'll say this, we do got to go to Westview. And if anybody's writing it off thinking, well, we got to go play the #1 team in the state, well, I promise you, Westview won't have to look to find us.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Hey, we have guns. We will travel.
They're very.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're beatable, and I think so. I definitely think Summertown can beat them. I mean,
absolutely.
Loretta played their worst game of the year last year, I think, at Summertown and against Summertown and Westview, especially at Westview. They didn't play well at all, and they only got beat by 5 something like that.
Yeah,
so
1 possession game,
right? And Westview's basically the same team.
Yeah,
and Summertown, I think, is. They've lost a couple of players, but at the end of the day,
and we'll talk to Coach.
I think they can definitely knock off Westview.
Yeah, we'll talk to Coach Gene here in just a little bit, but I think you would, talking to him and looking at the film that I've saw, if I'm us with our situation right now,
don't say too much now.
Not having to. Well, he can. If he don't like it, if he don't agree with me, he can say it when he comes on. I don't care. But with us being
throw him off a little bit,
with us being down our 2 best post players, Westview's smaller than Gibson County. It is honestly, if you're a game to get you to the state tournament, I think we match up better with Westview than we do Gibson County, because Westview's our size. Westview's not big.
They're pretty even. I mean, Gibson County's played them tough at the end of the year, every game.
Every game.
And
it's a 3-point game.
I think
4-point game.
And I don't. No offense to Westview's coach. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
But Gibson County's got a really, really good basketball coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's been there, done that. He's got state championships. He's got, I don't know how many wins, but it's a lot. I mean, the guy's been around the block. He knows how to get his team ready. So it is a tough matchup for Loretta. But you're right.
Yeah. Speaking of head coach Jeremy Jean, he's in the house. We'll have him coming up next here on xSports Live.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the auto owner's policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretta, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Employee Resources Credit Union is an easy solution to banking, offering a personal, simple, yet modern way to bank. When you bank with ERCU, you are a shareholder, meaning you own a piece of the pie. And we make it easy with the convenience of digital banking, with service you won't find at another financial institution, including low to zero fees and incredible rates. We have the technology you need with the personal service you deserve, right here in your own neighborhood. Employee Resources Credit Union, not for profit, for service.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to xSports Live, joined by the head coach of the Lady Eagles of Summertown, and Jeremy Jean. And Jeremy, guys, got a big game coming up. Only got one more guaranteed after this, a big sub-state game, having to make that long trip out to Westview on Saturday.
The good thing is we're used to being on the road. Not many home games, so we're road tested. It is what it is. If you want to win the state, you got to beat them at some point. This way, at least we got 2 days to prepare for them instead of back-to-back nights or something. So it works out to where we'll be ready to go.
And you guys have been playing so many games as of late, and I know that was a emotional one the other night there against Loretto. How do you kind of just get these girls refocused back on the task at hand?
I just tell them after the game, we're still playing. Loretto shot the ball really well. They rebounded the ball well. We turned it over a few more times than normal, but they come down to shots didn't fall, and we quit being the aggressor, and that's not us typically. So you can't look at that game of the night and say, "Hey, I'm worried, I'm freaking out." We're fine. Losing Reese and Abby the game before, emotional shock to them. Upset, don't know how bad Reese was hurt. Now we know, but losing those two just inside. And I told him today, I'll probably overemphasize too much. You better double down. We better not get anything in the paint. And then they're playing horse out there shooting threes because we weren't out there. So, that's on me on that part. But we're still playing.
Yeah. Well, like we'd said, Coach, your team. First, I didn't do it when we were talking about the injuries, but I want to brag on Mia Dinwiddie. Mia Dinwiddie had a good night last night and had to be the primary post player for us, losing our two biggest posts. And Mia gave it everything she had. I think she had 9 big points.
Oh, absolutely.
But Mia got in there and fought, and I want to tip my hat to Mia. I mean, she was asked to do more than she could, but because like you said, you can second guess yourself all you want, but I was honestly, I didn't talk to him. I didn't ask anything. That's y'all's business and how y'all play. But I honestly was thinking, well, if I was coaching this team, I don't know that I wouldn't start out in a zone, if nothing else, just to try to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah.
And you're it's one of those where you're darned if you do and if you're darned if you don't. And it worked for a little bit, and the next thing you know, Jenny Beth Clifton, Emily Cozart, they just start knocking the bottom out of the nets.
Yeah, it was, and we could never get that bucket to fall to stop that run.
Mm-hmm.
Had it 11. Could never get a shot to fall to get it back in the single digits.
And
we just never could get it back there.
I mean, Ainsley, I think she's 14, and
14.
she was the only one in double figures for Summertown.
Yeah.
Emily Brazier, Rue, Carly Campbell, Olivia, they had some looks, but they just couldn't get anything to fall. They would hit a lot of shots and just roll around the rim, but they wouldn't go in. And then, to credit Loretta, they would get the rebound and they'd go to the other end. I mean, it's just tough.
And they would score.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I've noticed about teams in this tournament, and it's maybe been like this forever, I don't know, but it seems like the teams that have a hot shooting night the night before, it seems like it's carrying over a lot. And the teams that struggle, some of that does tend to carry over come tournament time. And Loretta was definitely hot the night before. And
they were.
And when JB come out on fire again, it was like, I mean, what do you do at that point?
I see what you're saying, but I don't think that really applies to this one. Summertown was hot against Cheatham County.
Mm-hmm.
They just lost 2 really good post players in the process of it.
Sure.
I mean, Olivia Riggs, Carly, Ainsley were, they were hot. I mean, they were filling the net up from 3-point range. I mean, Summertown shot the ball well. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to make excuses, and I know Coach won't either as far as injuries and why you lost and things like that, but it's tough, and you got to give Loretta credit. I mean, how many times were you as sick as I was seeing Allie Weather somehow going through 5 or 6 players and coming up with a rebound and a putback?
Yeah, I mean, if we had 7 or 8 out there, she would do all those also.
Right.
But, the other night, they played better than we did to win. Period. We had some self-inflicted wounds that we could have maybe kept it closer, but at the end of the day, we didn't make enough shots to win. Back to that Cheatham County game, we played that game to win.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't playing not to lose. I think last night we had that mentality, let's don't lose this game. Let's try to not take that driving lane that I would take normally. But then when we got down by 11, 12, 13, we started taking it, but our mind was going way too fast.
And nothing worked.
Nothing was going. So, yeah, it just snowballed on us. But luckily, again, we're playing on Saturday.
I cannot figure out these 2 teams in the matchups because you had the first game of the year at Loretto. You guys look clear, head and shoulders better than them. You go to the next game at Summertown. They get the win on your home court, which is not an easy thing to do.
Right.
And then district championship, you guys beat them, and it looked, it was a tight game, but at the same time, you was like, well, Summertown played better, for sure.
Yeah.
And then last night, I mean, there's nothing that says, I mean, if you played again, I have no idea. Like, I still have no idea. It could be a 20-point game in either direction.
I'll take it right now. We play again. I'll take that right now.
Oh, absolutely. You know what that means.
Because we're where we want to be at. But hey, the first game they played us man, and that was to our advantage. And then that matchup zone. Second time at our place, it's hard for us to space people out because it's so small.
Yep.
So we couldn't get shots, open looks. And Mount Pleasant, the floor's a little bigger. And last night they just basically suffocated us out there. Couldn't get an open look. And what we did, we hesitated to shoot it. And when you hesitate, you're not going to make them.
So you think all 4 games have just been a different situation, different?
Yeah, I do. I think it's just, first game we were able to enforce tempo. Second game they did tempo. Third game it was us more. And the last night they did what they wanted to do. And we were chasing.
I just thought about something too, which is amazing. You go back to volleyball. Sure. Hey, listen, let's don't turn this into a roast. We have enough of those about me. But
did they allow you back in the gym last night?
No, we're not talking about that. If you go back to volleyball, it was Summertown, Loretta. Summertown, Loretta. Or no, excuse me, it was they split 3 and 3. Same thing happened in basketball. It's just amazing how much these two just give it back and forth to each other. And what Cam's talking about, everybody, if you want to go to about the 5 minutes left in last night's basketball game, I got thrown out.
He found his way back in, though.
But it was very courteous.
He made friends with the cop. That's what you got to do. If you know you're going to say something, make friends with the cop, because that way they'll find your way back in.
I didn't want to get put in jail in Fairview.
No.
Do they even have a jail?
I don't know.
And that gym's got 16 doors that come in, so you can sneak back in.
That's exactly what I did. I went over there and stood beside your wife.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, moving forward, obviously Westview coming up, 3-hour drive for you guys. And like you mentioned, you're used to being on the road. You haven't had many home games this year, so this isn't – it's a little bit out of the ordinary because of the distance, but it's really not out of the ordinary.
It's not too bad. I mean, you know, we're going to leave early, stop, eat, go shoot somewhere, and get ready to go play. But, you know, I heard Clint saying matchup-wise, they're the same size we are. Like, we don't have to worry about them feeding the post and doubling down and trying to – we just got to play. You know, they're going to shoot it. We're going to shoot it. Their point guard's really good. You know, we got to try to find a way to make her one-dimensional to where either, hey, you're shooting threes, and if she makes 10 out of 12, we're in trouble. Yeah. But we can't let her get to the rim. If she gets to the rim, she's going to kick out for a three, dunk to the post on the block for an easy layup, which is what their post wants to do. You know, defensive that zone at times gets really wide, and they'll trap out of it. The trapping part, I hope, and I'm knocking on wood, it shouldn't bother us because we got 5 guards out there. Mia's a guard, 5'4" post player, whatever, but she's a guard.
Yeah.
So they come trap us. We should be able to pass out of it, get an open look. We just got the confidence that we're going to knock it down.
I mean, you mention it a lot. Confidence has got to be the biggest key going into Saturday.
It is, and it's hard to get that confidence after you lose last night, but felt like a lot. It was, 21? Maybe it felt like more at times. But there's no reason to stress about it. I mean, hey, we're still playing.
Yeah.
Like, we're going up there. Yeah. Nobody really thinks probably going to give us much of a chance, but I like our chances. I really do. I told them last night in the locker room, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I believe we can win. Mm-hmm. And I think it's doable if we just play our game and limit their open threes. They're going to jack a lot of them because they can shoot them. But if we're contesting them and they go in, you just got to say good shot and let's go score. So we just can't give them open looks and make things hard on them.
And also, see, I make fun of Clint for thinking, then I start thinking out.
Yes.
I will say this as somebody's covered Loretto all year. Obviously, we went to school, but I know a lot of the girls in your team. You have a team that's easy to root for. The kids. Once you get to know a lot of those kids and yourself, what little I've got to know you, you're already very easy to root for.
I appreciate that.
And I think, you really are. I mean, you got good kids.
They are. Yeah.
And when you see, somebody like, I was commenting the other night, I was watching you guys warm up, and I commented to somebody, I said, hey, Joe, she's going to be good. She's huge. Yeah. And then it's unfortunate, 30 minutes later, she breaks her hand or whatever, and I hate that for her and her family. And she's going to be a big part of your program going forward. I mean,
absolutely.
She's got that Burdette size, and there was a couple games I saw this year. She's going to get rebounds nobody else can get.
Yep, and
plain and simple.
And she can run. She
can move well.
Run with us. So, yeah, that's what I told her. Hey, broke the wrong hand because she was making her left-handed shots that night. If it was her right hand she broke, we'd probably take it back up and let her go. But, I hate it for her. I hate it for Reese because this team's not going to be together again after.
That's true.
Next Saturday, even on the 10th, no matter what we do.
No matter what.
So I hate it for Reese because that's it.
That's it for That's the hard one. That's the hard one because that's you don't get that back.
Yeah. Well, and Reese, like I said, I don't want to get on soapbox. I may start crying, but I coached Reese since she was 3rd grade, and Reese was the same size in 3rd and 4th grade as she is now. So she was a dominant. She was a dominant post player in AAU basketball. I mean, she was humongous. But then it got to be about 7th, 8th, 9th grade. She quit growing. So she the good thing she had was she was skilled ball handling. She was skilled at passing. She was skilled at defending, where she could guard a guard or she could guard a post. And so she's played the last 2-3 years as an undersized post and will give you everything she's got. And I hate it so much for that kid that however many games we've got left this year in basketball, she's not going to get to play them. I hate that for her, and I promise you nobody hates it as much as she does.
What I've noticed about her from years past is she brought an edge. She's got an edge about her that
She'll fight anybody.
Exactly right, and you need that. And I said that the other night about Lainey Weathers. It's not negative at all. It's a positive thing. You got to have that kid that's
going to do it.
That's going to do it. Yeah. And if it's 2 free shots in the ball, so be it. Yeah. You can live with it. But those kids, you got to have somebody with that edge that plays that way. And she was definitely that.
That's also 2 kids, I think, that after they knock you down, they'll help you up.
Absolutely right.
And smile at you and let you know, hey, I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to help you
I'm going to help you up.
Yeah. So you got to have that. Right. Yeah.
Well, Coach, I'd like to thank you for stopping by here. And
appreciate it.
Good luck on that long trip. Hopefully come away with the W and go to Murfreesboro next week.
That sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Yeah. Head Coach Jeremy Jean coming up next. We'll have Head Coach from Loretto, Ashley Rutledge. That's coming up next on xSports Live.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
Whether it's popcorn, biscuits, or automotive, you need the right ingredients to achieve the best results. Heritage Automotive is proud to serve our community with a continually growing inventory. We also help our community grow by contributing to a vibrant economy, which helps build schools. I'm Keith Durham, and I'm the General Manager here at Heritage Automotive, and it's my job to make sure that you're 100% satisfied. Heritage Automotive, your hometown Chevy, Buick, and GMC dealer.
Are you looking for the perfect refrigerator? What about a new stove or washer or dryer? It only makes sense to shop at the one place that specializes in appliances, top to bottom, big or small. And that's Kelly Appliance in Lawrenceburg. Kelly Appliance is home to all major name brands, including LG. LG makes life good with a full selection of refrigerators, cooking appliances, dishwashers, microwaves, and more, including appliances made right here in Tennessee. Family owned and family operated. Stop by Kelly Appliance on Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg today.
Like you, our roots are in Lawrence County, providing banking for every stage of life since 1934. Lawrenceburg Federal Bank has been not just your bank, but also your friend, helping you with home loans, consumer and auto loans, and your everyday personal banking needs. Lawrenceburg Federal offers you a warm smile and personal experience, as well as the conveniences of modern-day online banking, mobile banking, and telebanking. Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, your neighbor and friend, located at 118 West Gain Street, next to the courthouse.
Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is your premier source for hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, residential and commercial carpet, carpet tiles, ceramic and porcelain tile, waterproof floating floor, plus blinds and shutters. Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is also home to all name brands and can tackle projects big and small. Installation, you're covered with installers who've got years of experience and stand behind their work. Let Lawrenceburg Flooring and More make your design dreams a reality. 2760 Highway 43 North, or visit LawrenceburgFlooringandMore.com.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to xSports Live. We're joined on the phone by Loretto head coach Ashley Rutledge. And Ashley, you guys played a really good game the other night. Your girls shot the ball very well, and you came away with the region championship.
Yes, I was. First of all, thanks for having me on the call. And sorry I can't be here in person. But yes, we played a really, really good game. And I was really proud of my girls. They came out ready and they were determined to have one more game at the barn.
Yeah, speak about that. How special is that? I mean, there's just so many unknowns that go into a high school basketball tournament. You just never really know where you're going to be. And now you guys get one more game in that special place.
Oh, yeah. We talked about it all year. We kept saying that we wanted to be one of the last games in the barn, and that was definitely a goal of ours. And so we just took it, trust in the process. Early in the season, a lot of people probably didn't think that we'd be back in the barn for sectional with the way we played earlier on. But the girls really just trusted the process, kept their head down, and kept playing. And it's going to be so special. We're glad to know that this really is the last game in the barn, and we're going to get to be the ones that close it down. So kind of neat. Yeah,
JB Clifton. What's gotten into her the last couple games? I don't think she's missed many shots these last couple games.
No, she's averaged in the region tournament 4.3 threes a game, and within 2 games she had 10. So it's just really special to see things like that happen for kids who work really hard. She's in the gym all the time. I mean, I bet there's not a Sunday that goes by that she's not in the gym. Other days in the morning she comes in, she works her tail off. So it's something definitely that she deserves with all the time she puts in.
And also, Allie's been just so great for you guys, especially in the second half of those 2 region games. You know, doubles, 20 points in each game, and she's, you know, she knows when to take over a situation when it calls on.
She does, and she just keeps such a level head because, you know, the game gets so physical, you know, and she's playing on the inside a lot. She can hit the 3, but she's inside banging around, pulling her own boards and things like that. And it gets so physical, and you would never know probably the beating she takes because she just gets up and keeps going. But she's definitely a player that we know we put the ball in her hands and she's going to make something happen.
You know, can't mention when we were talking about, you know, the transformation of this team early on. I know there was a rough stretch you guys had there, a losing skid, but you guys changed some things up. You made some things work, and now you're going to get a chance to host, you know, one more game at the Barn. What was the difference between that period to where you guys are right now?
I think it was not just one thing, but it was like a list of things. But the girls just trusting each other. I mean, there was a stretch of games where we were losing by 1 and 4, and we were just like, you know, coming in, and they were down. Coaches, we were harping on them and everything, and just telling them the little things was going to be that win the game. And finally, the girls, you know, I think those games early on really helped us down the stretch to realize, hey, number 1, we don't want to feel like this in a locker room. We got to figure some things out. And 2, you know, we're going to find a way to win these games. And so it's been neat to see that process. Like you said, a huge transformation. And, you know, it's just neat. And I think it all goes from when you have coaching leadership, that's great. But when you have player leadership, that's the best way to go. And that's, you can be most successful when you have player leaders. And right now, that's what we have.
And that's something you were talking about when I was talking with you at the early part of the season of the leadership. You needed somebody to step up, and just like you said, you guys got it right at the right time.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, early on when we were losing those games, we were reminding them, you know, these aren't the games that are putting us out of the tournament. But at some point, we got to figure this out, and we got to have some kids step up. And it's been fun to see the transformation of some of these kids get into that role to where when we're in huddles, you know, they're looking at each other going, we're winning this game, or, hey, coach, I think we need to run this. And I love that when that happens, when players are taking a lot of ownership of the game, and that's what we have right now. That's really special.
You know, you've added some new girls into the lineup. You know, we've talked about Jessie, you know, Jana Clifton coming off the bench. You know, you had JB coming off the bench, and she came out, you know, off the bench like a rocket, wanting to hit every shot and play tremendous defense. And how big was it to, you know, kind of switch up the lineup, change things up a little bit to kind of reset some things for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was uncomfortable there for a little while for some of them. I'll just be honest, and we had a lot of chats, and it's not something that has happened overnight. But I think within time, kids were challenged, and they were uncomfortable, and it brought the best out in them. And so right now we have a group of selfless players. I mean, there's no selfish kid on the team. They're going to do what it takes to win. And, you know, losing Libby Sanders really, really hurt, you know, and we're wishing her the best and praying for her. But I was really proud of Carly Urban for stepping in that starting role and being a good senior and doing what she's been doing.
And you mentioned your seniors, you know, Carly, I know you have one that's been hurt, but she's been there for every game. And, you know, and Laney has stepped up big with some big rebounds, you know, showing some heart. And, you know, you've gotten that leadership at the right time from the seniors when you've needed it.
Yeah, our senior class, I love them to death, and I'm really proud of them. You know, Carly Urban's always prepared, and she's ready, and she's a leader, and she's selfless. And Lainey Weathers brings a lot of fire to the game. I mean, she had a great defensive effort, Sycamore on Izzy McPherson, and did some really big things for us. And then, of course, we got Aniston Judkins, who got hurt early in the year, but she's brought the leadership from the bench and encouragement every day in practice, and we just appreciate these seniors.
Now, moving ahead, you got Gibson County coming up on Saturday. What have you seen out of them so far?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I missed the last question.
I'm sorry. Gibson County, I know you guys got them on Saturday. What have you seen out of them so far?
Well, it's kind of neat because I've watched a lot of them. You know, we went over there at Christmas and we watched them a little bit. watching game film and things. Their personnel, oddly enough, is a lot like ours, I feel like. There's a lot of players that maybe look and seem like some of our players. Their style is different than ours, so it's going to be a good matchup, and I think it's going to be an exciting game. They have a lot of good tradition. Coach Wilkins does a good job of game planning and getting his team ready. But I feel confident the girls are rolling at the right time, and I just have a lot of confidence in these kids.
And obviously, no, Clint's got a question here for you.
Oh man, y'all invited Clint.
He wants to know if you noticed he got thrown out of the game.
Did he really? I didn't notice that. No, he didn't.
What'd she say? Well, I'm proud I'm still casual, Coach.
Well, I know where you're sitting. You're sitting by the door. I just thought you may go take a mental break. I didn't see you there for a little while, but I didn't know you got thrown out. Did you really get thrown out?
Yeah, he got thrown out.
Yeah, I got asked to leave.
Well, I got asked to stay back in my box, so I guess it wouldn't have been
that was
in that aspect.
And by the way, I'm still sick of seeing you, but I hope we see you in about a week from Saturday.
Yeah, we can be friends in a couple of years, like I said.
Well, Coach, just one final one here, and obviously it's, there's no more guaranteed games after this. What do you tell these girls going into Saturday night?
Like we've said the past couple nights, don't let your nerves rob you of something you worked for your whole life. This is, you prepared your whole life for this. A lot of them have. It's been the majority of their life, but win or lose, I'm super proud of these kids. But we're going to go down and we're going to be battling on Saturday because we want to get these kids to Murfreesboro. So we're just going to do our best, and I feel confident in the kids that they'll be ready to go.
Thank you, Ashley, for calling in here and giving us some time. I know you're at one of your kids' games, so we appreciate you stepping out the gym here for a few minutes.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ashley. I was head coach Ashley Rutledge of the Loretto girls, and coming up next, Trent Weagle's got a new treat for us here from Hinie's BBQ.
What really matters during the ball game, you do realize that some of the qualities that coaches try to get from their players is the same that God is trying to get from his children. In 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 58, therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Do your best, give your best, work your hardest, leave it all out there. That is the goal of the Christian life. And that message brought to you by your friends at the Leoma Church of Christ.
Are you looking for a non-factory job environment? Livingstone Freight Solutions is a 3PL company that began managing warehouses in Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. With our multiple shifts and experienced management team, our goal is to give you, as an employee, a safe family work environment and competitive wages. We offer a wide variety of employment opportunities from forklift drivers to management level positions. We also strive to offer a competitive benefit package and PTO options. For more information or to apply, visit us at livingstonefs.com or give us a call at 931-269-3255.
Being raised in Tennessee, we believe in the importance of family and community. Creating a positive experience at our family-owned and operated business is one of the ways we share that belief.
Being in an accident can be extremely stressful. When it came time for my repairs, Mashburn's made it easy.
I am lucky to have a wonderful company in my community like Mashburn's Collision Center. It's reassuring to know that I'm in good hands because their work is second to none.
We pride ourselves that the Mashburn name is one of the most trusted in Lawrence County since 1981. Mashburn's Collision Center. Let our family take care of yours.
McMaster's Home Gallery, where you'll always get a special price every day. Shop their new showroom full of name brand furniture, sofas, recliners, dining and bedroom suites, Serta bedding, lots of tables and chairs just to match your decor. McMaster's Home Gallery also has GE appliances. Stop by on Highway 43 in Loretto or call 853-6140.
Got primary care? Find your way to better health with primary care by One Stop Medical. With decades of combined experience, you'll find a one-on-one relationship just like the old days, but with the convenience and technology of today. When One Stop Medical does primary care, it's the best. Call today for an appointment and find your way to healthy living. Serving Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Hohenwald. Phone 931-244-8220. Primary care by One Stop Medical at its best.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
This is the xSports Network.
Back here on xSports Live, joined by the owner of Hinie's BBQ, Trent Weagle. And Trent, you've got us something different out here. We're going
y'all,
sweet
everybody's got smiles
style
on their faces tonight. This is fun.
We're breaking out the sweets tonight.
Bringing out the sweets tonight. Something new we've got. It's Mama J's milkshakes here at Hinie's BBQ. And we've got a little bit of all the flavors here. You had the peanut butter.
Right.
And you got the chocolate, but you wanted the light chocolate, so we did half and half for you.
And it is fantastic.
You got the banana. So real bananas in that. We don't mess with the flavoring stuff. We put real bananas. Now he's fussing because he didn't get banana and peanut. He thinks he's Elvis Presley. He wants banana and peanut butter.
Well, we told him if he shows up on time,
If he
we'll
gets
get
here
what
on
he
time,
wants.
he can get his order placed on what he wanted. Then we got the vanilla over there, and then behind the thing running everything over there, he's got the strawberry, and that's real strawberries in there too. The high school was selling strawberries the other day. So I ordered 5 flats of those, so we're putting fresh strawberries in there and helping out the high school kids and making some awesome milkshakes.
Yeah.
But these shakes are cool. So the way this comes about, and the reason I call it Mama J's milkshakes, Mom used to make homemade vanilla ice cream when I was little, and I was just in love with it. It was, to me, brain freeze. It's hurting him.
He has it, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy.
Went too hard on that one.
Just a little too much.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, you know what? I got an idea. If we made that alcoholic, then he wouldn't be.
So listen,
he wouldn't drink as much.
That was one of my next lines. We do have the adult milkshakes. We do have the boozy shakes. There's 5 of those as well. So, but I didn't bring those out here tonight. I need y'all to behave.
These are just the regular.
These are just the regular ones
very
tonight.
I think I just had a stroke.
But so it's all homemade stuff. It's mom's ice cream mix that I had to convert to make it into milkshake. So we got a little science involved and made it work out. And it is.
Like some liquid nitrogen?
Well,
something, because it's killing me. I think he got a sledgehammer to the spine there.
Yeah. It's like this is like I ate something spicy. I'll say this: they're cold.
They're cold. Yes, they're
really good, and they're cold.
That's it. So just something else fun to have. Hey, if you get some barbecue and you get some hot wings or something, you need to cool them down a little bit. Nothing like a milkshake, and hey, it puts a smile on everybody's face.
I'm really happy.
As soon as we
really
introduced them, of course, everybody started saying, well, hey, we need the boozy milkshakes for the adults. So Bobby Jean, the bar manager, got in there, and she come up with 5 different drinks for that as well. So we've got those at the bar, and then the regular milkshakes to put out on the floor. Hey, we're having a good time with it.
Yeah, we haven't brought this up before. When did this come up, or is this always kind of been
started at the end of last week. Last Friday it got started. So we were picking around with it last Thursday, but it wasn't ready to roll out, so I had to hide it from you guys. Yeah. All of the employees had them for Thursday night.
Okay.
After y'all lined up and got theirs, and then we rolled it out Friday or Saturday to everyone else. We're having a good time with them. They're fun.
So do you have like a big ice cream machine, or you got one of those old school?
We make them each individual one in the blender. We make each one individual, so it is custom made for you for what you want. That's why everybody got each little thing they wanted. Now, something else big. Saturday. This Saturday, starting at 4 o'clock, we're doing our all-you-can-eat barbecue pit pass again. We have 16 different proteins that we're grilling up, and it's all you can handle. All you can eat. You go back to that pit as many times and get a tray as you want. All the meats, all of the desserts, all of the sides, and Coke, tea, ice, water, whatever you want. It's all included for the $49.99. And the meats right now, we have sliced brisket. We have baby back ribs. We're going to have Korean baby back ribs.
Ooh.
We're going to have boneless ribs. We're going to have sliced smoked tenderloin, smoked tri-tip steak, bone-in wings, smoked chicken, a barbecue chicken. Oh gosh, our jalapeno cheddar sausages, our regular sausage without the jalapeno cheddar. We do have a new sausage we're going to sneak in there. We're making a few of them.
Okay.
But for those of you that are brave, we're doing a jalapeno ghost pepper cheese sausage. Light up your life.
I want to see this guy try it.
Yes, I do
He's
too.
reacting like this.
I think we
I can handle hot. I can handle
We'll
hot.
save one of
He's
those
can't
next
handle
Thursday.
Please do.
It wasn't the last show.
We will save one of those for
We
next
all
Thursday.
should try one. I want to
Yes.
see everyone's
But
reaction.
it wasn't the last show. It was the show before. They was asking us what we wanted, and I said, "Get any of that cheese sausage?"
Yeah.
And they brought us. You should have seen me and Dusty. You can go back and watch that show. Me and Dusty, y'all were just talking. Me and Dusty's up there.
You were chowing down.
Hey, we look like a junkie run down a connection.
He didn't even wait for the bell to go off.
No.
So
So y'all
before the
did-
show done started, he was diving in.
So you saw the deal like those beef sticks that they're not homemade or anything, but they're the beef stick challenge where they're ghost pepper, and if you can eat 2 of them in under 2 minutes, you get.
So
Y'all need to do it. Y'all need to do
yeah,
that.
we can have the. So I need to get them made. We haven't made them yet. We're making them tomorrow for the first time. We got the ghost pepper cheese in them. We're going to leave out coming in the morning. Yeah,
2 minutes, you can eat a whole sausage or whatever it is.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, dude, when do you start? Have you already started prep for this?
So
or
we
when do you
started
start
prep.
cooking?
We start cooking at 6 a.m. in the morning. The prep has already been started. We've got meats in the cooler, seasoned up, ready to go. But at 6 a.m. in the morning, we fire the smoker up, and it will not cut off until about 9 o'clock Saturday night.
Now, I know you had Dusty working the last time you did this.
No, he was here.
He was here.
Yeah, he wasn't working. He was just here.
I don't know. I mean, I stood on my feet for about 6 hours.
He said he was sore. He could barely move the next. That's what he told me.
So he needs to have one of those barbecue stickers.
His mouth was sore from talking to everybody.
You know how everybody has those stickers like when they run. It's just like 5 point whatever, and it's like marathon deal.
Yeah.
He's the one that has 0.0. I cook barbecue.
That's it. That's it.
Well, now let me tell you something about running real quick. My feet got to hurting the other day, and I went and changed shoes, and my feet got better. And I thought, do shoes have a mileage limit on them or something? So I looked up. I wear Brooks glycerin shoes.
That's what I got.
And I looked them up, and they said 400 miles is about the limit for them. And I just bought them in December. So I've got the app on my phone, the little heart app, and it tracks your steps.
You warm out.
I put in 750,000 steps in 2 months. That's 475 miles in this joint.
So let me tell you a little trick with that is it's the insoles. It's the big thing. So you got those Power Step. You get them on Amazon.
Somebody told me about Power Steps. I've got to try that. I've heard about them.
I buy every 6 months. I buy 6 of them for 2 pairs of golf shoes, my boots, my regular shoes, my Sunday shoes. I mean, I put them in every shoe.
Well, you're the second person that has told me about Power Steps, and I've got to try that because they said it helps their back, it helps their legs, it helps everything. And my back, my legs are just killing. But now concrete in here, when you do that many steps, I get 20 to 25,000 steps a day in here.
You also got to remember though, Cam's not used to working, so his legs and feet are
I had bad
weaker than
it
everybody else.
is.
Usually it's just his dad and his brother.
Well, it didn't bother me at work. It was only from playing golf. So it's a plantar fasciitis, whatever. And Fisher. Well, how do you say it?
Plantar
fasciitis.
Fasciitis. I was getting ready to mispronounce it.
I think it was the fish and golf.
It's gone. But it's gone now. Since I started doing the Power Steps, I don't have any problems.
So somebody else told me about the Power Steps the other day because I was fussing about it. He said, look, my back used to hurt everything. He said, that's gone. So
they're awesome.
For a set of Power Steps, I'll definitely give that
like $50, I think, for one set, but it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it.
So we're doing a commercial for Power Steps?
I guess
We need to call and say, look, this is Power Steps.
As a marathon runner, I wear Brooks shoes. Brook Ghost, it's the ones I go with.
He's the one that's got this little sticker on the back of his car that says 22 point whatever.
I've got 4 medals, and actually my wife has never let me live down. The first long distance run I did was the Disney half marathon, and I never got a medal. They never gave me a medal. And my wife is still mad at me. She's like, "You didn't get a medal?" I'm like, "No one handed me anything. I just walked on, they handed me a water and said, get out of here."
So is it hours after you're supposed to finish? Or?
The next day you come across the next day of water. We're ready to go home.
Before marathons that I've ran, you cross the finish line, they hand you water, hand you a medal. So I guess I just got caught up in the traffic. Now, there's a funny photo, and it still makes my father-in-law cackle out loud. I accidentally spilt some Axe body wash on the pair of my shorts on the way up there. I thought I washed it all out. I got to the finish line.
Yes,
it was all the way up and down my leg. I'll show you the pictures.
That's probably why they didn't give you a medal.
What is wrong with this guy?
Stay away from this fella.
I think so. I mean, I have
water and wash your leg off
in front of the Epcot golf ball, and I'm looking like I'm running, I'm sweating, and there's this white foam going all the way down. So it still makes my wife and my father-in-law's probably
I wouldn't have told
right
that
now
one.
Finding that photo.
I probably wouldn't have told that
Clint,
one.
I'm all we're all having a stroke right here.
Oh, boy.
Trip, we'd like to thank you for stopping by, giving us these tasty treats.
Absolutely.
And,
my pleasure.
Looking forward to Saturday night.
Man, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Well, I'd like to thank you for stopping by. And coming up next,
for having
me and the guys are going to talk about our favorite all-time play-by-play sports announcer calls coming up next on xSports Live.
There are now more ways to save at QuickMart. Become a Quick Club member and easily earn rewards on qualifying purchases at QuickMart convenience stores using the Quick Club app, available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. To save on fuel for work, use the Fuel Rewards Pro app to earn 5 cents a gallon on work fill-ups and redeem the savings for yourself. To get started, visit fuelrewards.com/pro or download the app in the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Renwright Equipment has all the tools you need to get the job done. From bobcats to trenchers to augers to lifts, we have a large variety of equipment for every project, big or small. Need a new mower? We have you covered there too. With great brands Hustler and Big Dog, Renwright is ready to serve all your equipment needs. Call today and reserve your equipment from Renwright Equipment in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Are you tired of missing out on family life just to be treated like another truck number? Since 1986, Southeast Carriers has been a family-operated business based in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Being family-owned ourselves, we understand the importance of family, which is why we value it above all else. With our large number of dedicated lanes and our friendly staff, we are able to evenly divide your home time with the amount of time you spend on the road. We offer multiple benefits with large company pay, all while keeping a small company environment. For more information, visit our website at southeastcarriers.com or check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
Hey folks, this is Fred Webb, principal broker and owner of United Country Southern Tennessee Realty in Lawrenceburg. Your local Realtree Land Pro agent specializing in country homes, farms, and land. If you're thinking about selling or would like a free comparative market analysis to see what your property is worth, please give us a call at 931-244-7126. We market your property worldwide to get you the most exposure, which in turn gets you the highest price in the shortest amount of time. Visit us at southerntandrealty.com.
Southern Tennessee Orthopedics welcomes orthopedic surgeon Dr. Paul Thomas. Count on Dr. Paul Thomas, podiatrist Dr. James Barksdale, and nurse practitioner Doug Ead at Southern Tennessee Orthopedics to keep your life in motion. Injuries and foot pain can rob you of the activities you enjoy most. So our team is here, close to home, to address the pain and to get you moving again. Southern Tennessee Orthopedics. From the routine to the unforeseen, you can count on us. To learn more, visit SouthernTennesseeMedicalGroup.com or to schedule an appointment, call 931-762-4400.
Story and Lee, the Tennessee Valley's most dynamic furniture store, featuring our Made in America galleries with solid wood dining and bedrooms, leather furniture, mattresses, and so much more. You want it? We've got it. With our 3 acres of showroom and our huge warehouse, we're sure to have exactly what you want. And it's all ready to be delivered to your home absolutely free. Just try that anywhere else. We are Story and Lee.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade, and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Well, me and the guys have recovered from our brain freezes and all our other ailments out here. And we asked earlier today, Cam came up with this idea, and it was a great idea for the greatest, or in our opinion, our own opinion. And I've probably got a couple you guys have never heard, but I'll throw them out there. But talking about our greatest sports announcer play-by-play calls, and here's some of the ones we got on Facebook. And thank all you guys who responded. So one of them, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s win at Daytona after his dad died. That was a great call. The Carol Yarborough Donnie Allison fight at the end of the Daytona 500.
And there's a fight in the infield.
Yep. A lot of John Ward stuff, and we'll get into that here.
Still all my thunder.
Yeah. We'll get into some of those. Anything Harry Carey says, which as a Cubs fan growing up, I mean, I used to love when he could never say Mark Grzelcyak's name. And there's a whole YouTube credit that's great. Bob Uecker from Major League, and he was actually the Brewers.
Still is
The Brewers radio guy for a long time.
I think this might be his last year.
I think I read that.
So too.
He's going to give it up.
Because he's pretty.
He's got to be 90.
He's awesome.
Howard Cosell, down goes Frazier, or just anything Howard Cosell would say was great. Lindsey Nelson. The baseball stadium there, UT's named after him. The Rob Bramlett, Dusty. Rob Bramlett for Auburn, the kick six.
Auburn's going to win a football game.
Auburn's going to win
a football game.
It was him and his color guy both. Got that excited.
Yeah, and we also had a mention of Keith Jackson. I mean, you knew it was a big football game if Keith Jackson was calling it. That was a big deal. And then Mike Emmerich for hockey. Not many people know that name, but you know the voice. You know it would probably the moment you heard it.
I don't know that he's had any famous calls.
No.
Like a saying, he was great at what he did, but I don't remember.
But
him.
Not one single, but he was awesome at what he did. But also he was the main voice for hockey in kind of a down period for the sport. So I'll now leave it to you guys to talk about some of your favorites.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go first.
Well, I've been really lucky in being able to do this for the last 7 years, this broadcasting. And probably my favorite of all time, Jeff Franks, part of the Franks and Brazier law firm that we used to have that did our Summertown basketball calls. I've still got it saved on my phone of him calling my daughter scoring her 1,000th point in Murfreesboro in the Final Four of the state tournament. That's awesome. That's great. I was even thinking, and Will even said it in his comments, one of his favorites is you on the call when Gavin hits the half-court shot to send it to overtime last year in the sub-state.
I called it. I said it was good.
It looks good from here.
It's good. Boom.
And that was great. There's a lot. Like I can remember Bob Costas is set, I'm thinking in the 90s, Bob Costas with the Bulls run, the calls he made against Utah and those two finals back-to-back were great. Bob Costas making the call, I can still remember him saying when Marquise Grissom catches the final out for Atlanta to finally win that, and him saying the team of the 90s has their championship. Right. And they did. And I remember that, and that was great. My two favorite, though, of all time, and I'm not a Dodgers fan at all, but I get chills. Like, I get chills up my arm anytime I watch Vin Scully say, look who's coming up to bat. And here comes Kirk Gibson. It's like a 7-minute at bat. Yes. But then when he hits the home run and that call, it is great. I mean, that to me, that's something that'll go on as longer than any of us will ever be around, is that call. But my all-time favorite Everybody knows I'm a big Tennessee fan. Sorry, Dusty. And luckily it's not against Alabama. But 98, Florida's trying to kick a field goal to send it to an extra overtime. John Ward. Did he make it? No, sir-ree.
Pandemonium reigns.
I mean, that's it.
That was his last year.
That was it. He retired after they won a national championship. Yeah. And that's my favorite call of all time. Yep. Did he make it? No, sir-ree. And John Ward's got, you could pull up 5,000 of his
I found
calls.
a bunch today.
Yeah.
My son was taking a nap while I was looking up some of those today.
Yeah,
Dusty?
All right, for me, my favorite call is not an Alabama call. I remember sitting in the living room with my pawpaw in 1992 when Francisco Cabrera hits a base hit when Skip is screaming Braves win as the slowest man probably to ever play Major League Baseball, stretches, should have just been one base, and he scores to win. And of course, we all know we're going to lose the World Series to the Blue Jays.
But that's when the run started.
That's when the run started, and that call for me as a 12-year-old kid, that meant something. And I am going to talk about Eli Gold now.
Yeah, he's great.
I think he's terrible, but
he's had all these, 30 years he's called Alabama football. Mm-hmm. But for me, my favorite of him, and there's a bunch, but my favorite is when Tua dropped back when it's 3rd and 26 and he hits Devontae against Georgia. Mm-hmm. He couldn't even say his name right.
Yeah.
It was that was good. And as I know, we all play golf, and is when Vern is calling Tiger's chip in on 16 at Augusta.
Mm-hmm. And I almost said Vern Lundquist because he's had so many memorable calls.
He has.
In college football and the Masters. He has.
He's had a bunch.
I think his stuff in college football ruined it at the end because of Gary Danielson.
Yeah, but I ain't going to hold that against Vern.
Well, Vern was pretty bad, too. I mean, he had to.
Are you telling me you don't get goosebumps when he says, balls up in the air, it's caught! Jawan Jennings! Jawan Jennings! Come on now.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
And Gary Daniels was over there going, crap. I was hoping Georgia would win.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
I was actually watching. I was watching that game at a Virginia Tech press box, and they were going crazy during that. And then I watched the unfortunate loss against Texas A&M in the midst of a hurricane in North Carolina. Shooting a game in a hurricane's not fun. Virginia Tech won that game. Mitch Trubisky was UNC's quarterback, but I remember watching that unfortunate loss to Texas A&M in overtime. But Cam, what are your favorites?
So I got 5. I ranked them. See, I thought y'all slacking.
No, I ranked.
You ranked yours. All right. For me, number 5 was Jim Nance, 97 Masters. That, I think, like a lot of folks, the 97 Masters is what made us become golf fans of the game, and it's lasted decades.
It made it worldwide.
And I mean, Tiger Woods has single-handedly, kept that sport relevant. Number 4 was Mike Joy, the 98 Daytona 500. Yes. Dale Earnhardt won. That's, as a huge NASCAR fan growing up, that was, I've cried 2 times in sports. It was when he won the 500 and when he died in the 500. Literally. Mike Keith and Pat Ryan, the Music City Miracle.
And not trying to interrupt you, but our good buddy, Mr. Will Pettis, who does all our Summertown games, he said that's his favorite Music
City Miracle. Yeah. No flags on the field. Yeah. It was awesome. John Ward, I had 2 of them for number 2. A John Ward call, but you named the No Siree, Pandemonium Reigns. But when they won the national championship that year, he said, the national champion is clad in big orange. John Ward, he could make a natural gas commercial sound exciting. Yeah. The funniest thing about John Ward before he passed away, we went into Hardee's the morning after one of the Tennessee games. He was long retired. And we just went to the random Hardee's to eat breakfast before we headed back home, and there sat John Ward.
Having his Sundowner special.
He was sitting there. He was sitting there eating breakfast with a couple other old men, and we went over and talked. And he was willing to talk to us.
All right, that's good.
And he was just a cool guy. And my number 1 call of all time, even though I was not alive, was Al Michaels. Is the Miracle on Ice. because that was the anniversary of that was last week.
Do you believe in them?
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes.
I mean, that whole story is incredible, but that call in itself, Al Michaels is my all-time favorite play-by-play guy. I think he's incredible.
So my turn, but first we're going to start off with, I mentioned the story about me with the foam going down my leg. I found the picture.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin, if you want to zoom in on this bad boy.
Don't,
Kevin. It just looks like,
it's soap suds. It's what it is. But
that's hilarious.
Yep, there it is. Somewhere my in-laws are just losing their minds right now.
Who took the picture?
That was a Disney photographer.
So that's at Epcot.
Yeah. Well, we started at Epcot, ran around Magic Kingdom, then like on the highway, then we came back through Epcot, and they have photographers all across, and they do this at a lot of the marathons. They got them all across the place, and so they just look at your bib number, and then they tie it through the Disney app to you. So that's how that happened, and I was wondering why everyone was looking at me weird at the finish line. And I looked down and go, how did that happen? But then I realized I didn't get all the Axe body wash out of my shorts from the night before. So number 8, I've got 8.
8?
Yeah. Number 8 is
we're terrible. We had 2.
Pretty much
we're underachievers.
Yeah, I thought I was overachieving.
Well, you have one sip of a milkshake and you got a brain freeze.
So did you?
I did not. I'm still looking at this. I'm almost done.
Just name your 8, please. I'm tired of being the whipping boy on the show.
Gus Johnson.
I'm the new guy.
I love Gus Johnson games, and he's got so many great calls. It's kind of hard to name. Jim Nance, who I've met several times, super nice guy, always very cool and calm. Yeah, you got to love that. Number 7, sorry about this one, Cam, but the Tom Brenneman attempted apology with the
oh, dear Lord. I almost said that as a not top 5. Y'all remember that? He had just said it.
Yeah.
Because I was watching the game as all this happened. He had said some insensitive remark. He thought they were going commercial, but the producer had forgot, and the mics were still hot.
Still hot.
And he said some insensitive things that were pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so he gets caught in the middle of the game. He's issuing an apology. The camera's on him. The game's going on. They're fixing to yank him off the air.
Yeah.
And he's never been back, by the way.
Yeah.
And as he's doing it, he's saying his apology. And there's a home run by Castellanos. Yeah. And he keeps on going his apology. You need to look it up. I mean, it's incredible.
There's so many memes, and pretty much any time a politician or somebody apologizes for something,
Castellanos home run.
And there's a drive to left by Castellanos.
That's what it was. There's a drive to left by Castellanos. It's a home run, and it's monotone.
Number 6 for me is, as a Cub fan, Hawk Harrelson for the White Sox. Anytime the White Sox would get walked off against, Harrelson would go silent for minutes. There's a whole thread on YouTube, and it's hilarious, and it's lovely for a Cubs fan because I find him the most annoying person ever. He never has anything nice to say about the opposing team. Not just the Cubs, could be anybody. So anytime anyone would walk off, literally, one time the Cubs hit a walk-off home run against them at Wrigley Field. They have 3 minutes and 35 seconds of silence and just Cubs celebrating everything. They even played Go Cubs Go during it. It was awesome. It was great. I love how, number 5 for me, I love how Joe Buck in playoff baseball games on a walk-off, and he knows they're going to extend the series, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. Like the one David Freese hit in the Rangers World Series. Ball hadn't even landed yet, and he just goes, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Boom. Lands down. I've always thought that's really cool. Do you believe in miracles? A 1980 USA hockey one. This one I know you guys are going to love. Jim Ross from the Hell in a Cell match with Mankind and The Undertaker.
My God, he's broke him in half. God is my witness.
Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. He killed him. His God is my witness. He is broken in half.
Yes.
Which was a 100% genuine
true reaction. Because they didn't know. They didn't know what they were doing.
Did not know that was going to happen. And he threw, if you've never seen, just look up Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell, throws him off. And I've seen several interviews, and everyone just said it was spur of the moment.
About 6 years ago, a buddy and myself went to Zany's and listened to a 3-hour Q&A with Jim Ross. And he talked about that match for probably 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to be honest.
I think it really did hurt Mankind, though, didn't it?
I was on a plane.
Did you know how it happened, though? I mean, he told us. He sat and told us the story.
Yeah.
They were going off, and Mankind said, "Throw me."
Boom.
And Taker said no, and he said,
he had to
"Throw me off."
He had to talk
And
Undertaker
that was all.
for a
That
month
was
into doing that.
But that was before he actually went through the cage.
Yeah, because they stretched him off. Remember, the
Yes.
Undertaker
And he
was on
came
the
back,
cage.
climbed back up.
They had to lift the cage with the Undertaker on top up to get the gurney to get Mankind out. Then he got off the gurney, went back on the cage. Then the Undertaker chokeslammed him through it. And then they still did more spots, where he tombstoned him on thumbtack.
That's right.
Those were real thumbtacks. It actually stuck in
and
his
the
back.
Undertaker's got this quote. He said, "I just looked down and I said, my God, he's dead." That's what he was thinking. Hey, real quick, I'll be real quick. I actually was on a plane ride, and Jim Ross sat right in front of me.
Really?
And,
He's from Memphis,
and
isn't
I
he?
didn't know what to say, but
Oklahoma.
I
Oklahoma.
I was the biggest wrestling fan as far as 80s and 90s go.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what's going on now, but I love Jim Ross, and I couldn't think of anything to say, so I just leaned up and said, "God is my witness. He's broke him in half," and he just reached back, and gave me a fist bump, and that's it. I never said anything else to it, but that was it.
But I always. Anytime you see like a homemade video of someone crashing into something, it's always Jim Ross's voice underneath.
Yes.
God Almighty, he's broken his head.
He's killed it.
God, that's the Undertaker's music.
Yeah. Or don't do it, John. Don't do it. My second all-time favorite, it's a West Virginia one, but as you guys being SEC fans, you'll love this. Tony Caridi is the voice of the Mountaineers. He took over for Jack Fleming, who was there for decades, and Jack Fleming was also the voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The infamous Immaculate Reception, if you've ever seen the NFL films, that's Jack Fleming. He was the voice of the Mountaineers at the same time. I sort of grew up, and then Caridi took over in the 90s. So they beat Kentucky with John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and Bledsoe to go to the Final Four in 2010. They beat him in the Carrier Dome there in Syracuse. And so his final call, Kentucky's called Big Blue. So Caridi at the buzzer. You hear the buzzer, and Caridi goes, "So long, Big Blue. Hello, Golden Blue. The Mountaineers are going to the Final Four." And I've always he has this he says it after every win. The buzzer sounds, the Mountaineer fires the musket, which is always fun to watch people jump out of their skin when that thing goes off. And he always goes, "And it is a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be." So, because everyone knows somebody from West Virginia, and we're all over the place. So that's where that came from. That one's great. And I've got two at number one, being a Cubs fan. So the first one was Harry Carey, the regular season finale in 1990. I'm sure you guys have seen it, where he goes, it's been a great season. We've had some thrilling moments and not so thrilling moments. But as sure as God made green apples, the Cubs will win the World Series. And I hope it happens sooner rather than later. Well, he passed away in 98. And so I've always loved
So he never got to saw it.
Yeah, didn't get to see it, but Joe Buck's call of the Cubs winning the World Series in 2016, and this is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play, and the Cubs have finally won it all. So that was a great call for me. Obviously, I know every word to that call, so not that I've replayed it several times.
You think you watched that part over and over again?
I bought the DVD set with all 7 games. I only watched 4 of them.
That was a great World Series, too.
It was.
Even Kevin said it's the only World Series he's actually watched every game of, right,
Really?
Kevin? He knew history was going to happen.
But Joe Buck, I loved Joe Buck at baseball. I like Joe Buck only at baseball.
Yeah.
But when you hear him on golf, it's dreadful. And even some football I'm like, okay, he's kind of ruins it for me. I was like, just do baseball. He's the baseball voice,
Yes.
He just Don't do anything else. Like if Al Michaels all of a sudden decided to start, which he was a Reds play-by-play guy, do you know that?
He was, yeah.
But do you hear Al Michaels doing? Oh, he's a football guy.
No.
Al Michaels football.
If you're an energy guy, it's hard to tone it down
Yeah.
for golf. That's why Jim Nance is so good.
That's why Jim Nance is so good. He's the best.
Yeah, and he's one of the nicest people you'll ever come across. Well, coming up next here on xSports Live, me and the guys are going to rant. That's coming up next.
For the best at-home care in Lawrence County, the Summit at Home is the right company for you. We have a friendly staff over 25 that is trained, educated, and qualified to help with all your needs within your household. Our non-medical services include transportation, housework, dressing, and companionship. We are also covered by most long-term care providers. For more information, please call 931-762-2310.
Tired of driving into the city every time you need appliances, furniture, or heck, just about anything? Next time, stay local and come to Swap and Shop Center. We have everything you want, from computers to furniture, major appliances, lawn and garden tools, electronics, you name it. Our #1 goal is to get you the items you need at a price you can afford. We even offer 120 days same as cash financing. We won't be undersold. We specialize in service after the sale. We pick up where everyone else leaves off. Swap and Shop Center, family owned and operated in Lawrenceburg for over 61 years.
Hello everyone, this is Eric Schultz. On behalf of Cade and the entire Schultz family, we would like to say thank you. Thank you for all the love, all the support, and most importantly, the prayers. 1 Peter 5:10 reads, "But the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after that you have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you." We want to thank God for his grace. Go Wildcats.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to Heinie's BBQ xSports Live, our final segment of the show. And guys, it's time to rant. And Dusty actually said he came prepared this time. But
when you were talking about the wrestling stuff,
we got.
If you got funny stuff, the Ultimate Warrior promo videos.
Oh my God!
Go look those up.
That was good.
The guy's on some serious drugs.
He was so bad. He was bad.
Serious drugs.
Yeah. Those are entertaining.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dusty.
So I've been a baseball fan my whole life, just like y'all have. And I've been a Braves fan, and this isn't just about the Atlanta Braves. But a few days ago, when the Braves baseball player, it's the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded with 2 outs, and he gets rung up because of a stupid clock. I understand it's spring training, but this is going to be moving forward in baseball. That they got to do something with that.
No, it's perfect.
I like the pitch clock. I'm sort of with him. I just don't like it if it's deciding a game. But,
it's a shot clock.
It's a shot clock. But I think the players
will get used to it. I don't think you'll have this.
To it. I just don't like it that it ends.
And I guess because the way it ended
in college too.
I mean, I guess the way it ended. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, if you get to October and this is still a problem, then okay, let's talk. I don't think it will be, and it's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah,
Machado got rung up on it the same way. I mean,
I do like the fact it stops when some of these guys take them forever readjusting their gloves. Or the guys that got to get their.
But I see what Dusty's saying too, though. I mean, you have a 2-minute warning in football. You have special circumstances at the end of basketball games.
You're saying take it out for the end?
Ninth inning. Let's just say ninth inning.
Yes.
Let's take it out. I mean, listen. If you're a major league, if you're a high school hitter, especially a major league hitter, you're trying to win a guessing game. And it may take you a minute. And you got bases loaded, and a winning run on third or a winning run on second, and you're down one. You know, who wants? If you're a paying fan, is that how you want to see that game end?
Exactly. And you know, and I know with spring training,
I'm with you, man.
If I'm the home team, I want to see my team get a hit and win it or lose it. Yeah. If I'm the visiting team, I want to see my pitcher strike this guy out or get a pop up. Right. You know, that's not what I paid my ticket for, to see an umpire say, "Sorry, time's up."
Yeah, I know.
You know,
they do give them a warning. They tell them to say, "Hey, but it's pretty quick." As soon as the umpire, as soon as the umpire says, "Hey, it's." Yeah. You know, whatever the warning sign is, it happens pretty quick. He's got to step in there. I think it could maybe be tweaked, but the games are lasting 30 minutes shorter,
which is
in spring training than they were a year ago in spring training, which is
good.
I think we all know that. I think baseball needed something. You know, just like basketball needed something when they introduced the shot clock. I mean, this is for the good of the game, even though it's not normal. It's not the old school way of doing it. It is. I get why people don't like it, and you're right. If it ends the World Series on this, it's going to be a problem. For sure. People's going to get mad at it. So maybe there is a tweak to it somewhere along the way, but I think ultimately it's a good thing. I don't think it needs to be scrapped, and maybe a little tweak.
They'll adjust, and we are.
Well, I don't know. It's Manford. I mean, he didn't even ask. You know, the fact that no player was consulted about any of this is a problem, but
which is a lot of things, man.
I think me and Cam's got the same one, so we'll do ours together. But first, I want to let everybody know Giles County is up 21-19 at halftime against Fairview. So number one seed against number one seed, and looks like a tight game. So go, Coach Nick Campbell. I think I asked Cam if he had one, and he really didn't, and I didn't either. But I think it's a rant for both of us because we have to call these games. But it's not even Summertown and Loretta's district or region. It's Lawrence County. I mean, we've got every Summertown and Lawrence County to go their region, they had to go through two districts to get there. They had to go to Cookeville to play a region. Summertown's going to have to drive through two regions to play a sub-state game. Does that make any sense?
No.
And next year it's going to be different.
It's going to be better.
It actually is going to be better, but what made it come to this point to where this is what we're doing? I mean, Cam, you can go back to
when we had to go to McKenzie for region.
Summertown and Loretta had to drive all the way to Bethel University in McKenzie
to play each other in both games.
And it doesn't make any sense when you literally drove through four districts to go play a region game.
Right.
That's my thing, and I know we've got on officials all year, and the TSSAA all year, and TSSAA, if y'all are watching us, just tack one more to it. But if you want my advice, I promise I can help you out more than I can hurt you.
So I got a phone call today about this. It was not a bad phone call. It was a good phone call. The TSSAA did realize they have a problem. And there's new leadership at TSSAA, too. I think that they're not been there that long. So let's
give them some time.
Let's give them some time. But the first step in that, I think, was they did reach out to several coaches and get their opinion on how this realignment should go. And I think, according to the coach I spoke with, they took a lot of those opinions, and that's how we ended up with what we've got coming next year. So I think that is a positive step. And you're right, the fact that we had to, that was, I think everybody knew when we were driving to McKenzie and they were, that district was driving here for region is ridiculous. I mean, the fact that we've got a district 20 minutes up the road in Mount Pleasant, Richland, Hampshire, all them. We were going right through that, blowing through it. We were going through the Riverside district, all that.
Through four counties.
I mean, to go 2.5, 3 hours to play a region, it made absolutely zero sense. And then now sub-state, same way Summertown having to go to Martin, that makes no sense. You're passing the sites of 2 to 3 other sub-state games in the same classification.
You got to drive right by Decatur County, Riverside, and they're two-way, just like us.
Exactly.
It's on the other side of the river.
I mean, so I think the
idea make any sense.
The idea now was going more north and south instead of east and west, and the fact that Huntington is having to go all the way across to play McKenzie. That's 2 hours from here, guys. You think about an hour and 45 minutes anyway.
At least.
It's south of Winchester. Yeah. It's closer to Huntsville. It's closer to Chattanooga than it is us.
Yeah.
And they're going to McKenzie. Think about that.
That's not McKenzie. McKenzie's right beside Huntington. Who are you thinking of?
That's where they're going. They're going to McKenzie. Huntland, not Huntington.
Yeah.
Huntland. Huntland. Sorry, yeah. Huntland. Yeah. Huntland. I think they're in Moore County. Is that right? Or somewhere in that Coffee County, Moore County?
Huntland's where Coach Craig McGill used to be. I mean, it's Fayetteville, it's Winchester,
but it's south,
closer to Alabama than it is.
Yes, I mean you're 20 minutes from Huntsville.
It's further east than Huntsville is. So regard, it's Huntland. You're right. Having to go to McKenzie, and then the team that lost to McKenzie is Perry County, and they're having to go 28 minutes to the team that beat Huntland, Wayne County. 25 miles is what that difference is. So how does that make sense?
Perry County lost, so all right, so they got to travel. They
25 miles.
They got to go 30 minutes down the road.
To your old district rival, county over, and Huntland's got to go. It makes no sense. Yeah, it makes zero sense. So, but anyway, I think everybody knows that. I think Team Louisville knows that. Yeah. And to their credit, I think they've tried to correct this problem. District next year is going to be same crap, but region's going to be better for us.
I think the best thing we've got around here is Brian True. I hope he stays with it. I hope he Hall
of Famer, by the way.
I hope he wants to stay on the TSSAA and possibly be running it at some point because we do have a good one here in our back pocket here in this county. Yeah, he's at Loretta, but he wants what's best for all Lawrence County athletics, and he's a good one for us to have at the TSSAA.
I think they're going to make some. They're making some changes, and are they perfect? No, but I mean, I think it's better.
Yeah. All right, mine. I had a few. I thought.
Is your rant dads getting thrown out of basketball games?
No, no. That's kind of been a trend for us lately. But no, I would say dads being relocated during games, which none of you guys deserve that. No matter where, none of them deserve it. You know, we got some thin-skinned Motel 6 type people. But
there we go.
My rant is saw something last week, I believe, and you know, it's the same guys on the ESPN, same NBA guys wanting to compare this guy to that guy, and one of them, JJ Redick, dude, you just need to learn to shut up.
I know what you're talking about.
Today's NBA players are not as tough as they were in the 80s or were in the 90s. Think about this, JJ. If they were as tough now as they were back then, why aren't they playing all 82 games? Why are they having the same injuries over and over and over again? You think the game is so much better because we shoot a lot of threes. I like it because they shoot a lot of threes. But one thing I've learned through the course of time, and you know what makes sports better, guys? They evolve. Back in the 60s, you only had one team that threw for over 3,000 yards in the NFL, and that was Joe Namath. Now, if you don't throw over 4,000 yards, they're considering you a running team, or your offense stinks.
Or you're looking for a new quarterback.
Or a new head coach, a new coordinator, a new GM, whatever the case may be. My point is, sports evolve. You know, hockey in the 70s was a line brawl every 5 minutes. Now they average 0.45 fights a game. The sports evolve. The rules evolve. Everything's evolved. I don't know why we have to compare everything to everything now. Him saying that Larry Bird couldn't hang in today's basketball is the dumbest thing ever. Well, JJ, we get it. And, you know, you want all these guys to come on your podcast so you can ask them a softball question. You know, we all get it. We know that you don't, you know, you're buddy with everybody, and Stephen A. isn't, not that I'm a Stephen A. fan, but he's speaking more truth lately than he ever has in his life.
What's happened there? You're right. He is like...
Well, I think he's realized he's not going to be buddies with everyone anymore, and he's going Charles
Barkley.
He's going to say what he thinks.
And he's a lot more likable.
He's a lot more likable.
A lot more likable.
Sure is. A lot more likable, and they're speaking a lot of truth. But is there guys from the 80s and 90s that can play today? No. Is there guys today that could have played back then? No. But there are certain guys that could have. Jordan could have. Bird could have. Magic could have. Not only would they be great today, they would still be considered all-time greats, top 75 players today, the 60s, the 70s. He even said Bob Cousy went up against firefighters and and insurance salesman. Well, yeah, JJ, they were making $1 million back then.
They had to have another job, right?
They had to. Sports evolved. Paychecks evolved. Things evolve, dude. Quit trying to compare everything to everybody just because you want to put somebody on your podcast. Have Ben Simmons on again so he can explain why he's not stealing money from his ownership. Because he is. $40 million to play 6 minutes and not give a crap.
Well, listen, I almost jumped through my screen when I heard him talk about Larry Bird.
Yeah, he's not a great three-point shooter. Well, they weren't shooting 40
Well, first of all, Larry Bird walked into the locker room of the All-Star game and said, I'm just trying to figure out which one of y'all's coming in second in the three-point competition. First of all, if Larry Bird wanted to shoot, Larry Bird averaged 27 points a game on 12 shots.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's totally different. You know, it was a jump shot and drive league back then. It was more of a jump shot league back then.
I mean, in those finals games, he wasn't driving into the lane on Bill Laimbeer.
And I did
up on his back. You think LeBron James would broke the scoring record if Bill Laimbeer was patrolling the middle of the court?
Well, that's a whole other argument because look how much LeBron flops. Can you imagine if Dennis Rodman hits him with an elbow? He'd probably retire.
Or all the trash that Jordan and Pippen or Reggie Miller would have talked to him and broke his leg.
But I did. I'm sitting there when and listen, Jordan is my favorite of all time, but Larry Bird was probably the most underrated as far as today's people go. Has J.J. Redick not seen clips of him literally coming out of the game, laying on the floor, and them trying to push his spine back in column so he can go back out there and play 6 more minutes
and talk trash, hit shots.
The best trash talker we've seen.
Yeah,
I mean, Gary Payton probably takes that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Players today are taking days off while fans are buying. How many people from around here do we know that if Los Angeles comes to Memphis are buying that ticket to only go watch LeBron
last night,
and then he sets out?
Well, he's hurt now, of course. But
I'm just using an example. I'm just saying.
That would suck if you're a kid. My kid loves basketball right now. Loves it. Loves LeBron James. Oh my God. But it's all because of the movie. It's the stupid Space Jam movie. But he loves it. and you know, everything's LeBron James. Whatever, man. I don't care. I'm not going to discourage that. It's just, you know, it's what he likes. But if we go to Memphis to watch him and he sets out,
just because he's tired.
Yes.
Load management.
Yes.
You want to talk? Do you want to grow the game, or do you just want to? I mean, what's their goal here?
Well, and I'm going to be on your topic.
It's player self.
On your topic with J.J. Redick, with all these Gilbert Arenas, I can't stand watching.
He probably has so much CTE, it's unreal.
Gilbert Arenas?
Yeah.
You don't like that stuff was hilarious back in the day.
No, but you don't see what he's saying.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And here's the thing: the players now. It's not. I honestly don't think it's that they think that. I think they know that it's that it's different eras.
And that's okay.
But what makes them mad is that people are not tuning in to watch it now because us 4 sitting here, if Steph Curry was sitting right there, I think all 4 of us could honestly look at him and say, sorry, dude, we like 90s basketball better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But because they know.
We like Steph Curry, too.
Yeah.
We can like all things.
Exactly right. We can like it all.
I think they just can't stand the fact that people love 80s, 90s, early 2000s basketball better than what's the product now.
So let me ask you this. So the NBA, I think we all agree. I think everybody our age, you're exactly right. They don't like the NBA because it's not the same. I mean, it has nothing to do with LeBron versus Jordan. But the fact is, they are softer, the load management stuff. But so the biggest example, and there's a meme about it, or was back then, I don't know if you guys remember, but LeBron, whenever they had the finals and it was so hot in the arena that he was.
San Antonio?
Yeah, that he was having to be carried out because he was cramping up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and like, literally, like a month prior to that, the Dallas Stars had a guy had a heart attack on the bench and tried to come back and play. Rich Peverly, same state, within the same time frame. They're like, LeBron's getting carried out because he's cramping. This guy had a heart attack trying to get back.
LeBron's getting carried out because he's cramping. Jordan won Game 6 of NBA Finals with food poisoning.
The old Boston Garden didn't have
hold his head up.
It didn't have air conditioning. That's right.
They were playing in 95-degree temperatures in the old Boston Garden.
So they were having to mop the floor because of the
condensation.
Condensation. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so part of it's that, but how much of it is the politicalness of the NBA?
That's where I was going.
Yeah,
because
90% of it.
I mean, whether you listen, I don't care if it's one side of the. I don't want to hear it. I hear that stuff enough.
I tuned in to watch a sport.
Yes.
Right. To get away from that crap. I don't want to hear the stuff. I don't want to see the logos on the jerseys. I don't want to see it on the court. I don't want to see this stuff. I don't care. You know, and some people may like it, but obviously it's not a majority because the viewing numbers are way down.
Yeah. And in certain markets, the NHL's eclipsing some of those things. Not in all markets, in certain markets.
But I think hockey has a better product right now. I mean, than the NBA. I think that's 100% true.
I mean, it's just so bad.
Or college basketball, college football.
It's all. Oh, I mean, in the South.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched. The only thing I know about today's NBA is because I love watching inside the NBA.
Yeah.
And if I didn't love Chuck, Ernie, Kenny, Shaq, I would not know anything about today.
It's entertaining.
It's a great show.
I know more about the nicknames Charles had for him. Street clothes.
Yeah.
James Harden. Oh, he's eating up. There goes another coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. But those guys, you know what era those guys came from?
90s and 80s.
We're talking about it. It's so good.
I mean,
and I do watch it more because my son's watching it, like Cam's talking about his son. And I'm pushing, like Mason, he said something about LeBron the other day. He said, Dad, don't you like him? I said, no, we're going to root for Luka.
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you who Luka is, I'll be honest with you. I literally don't know anything about the NBA. Yeah. I don't want. Well, the last full game I watched was when Kobe Bryant played.
Yeah.
I liked watching him, but even before that, I was done with it. It's not the same.
No, it's just not the same. Well, had a nice little rain segment there, guys.
I didn't know the NBA was such a fiery topic, man.
Yeah. We guess we all hate J.J. Redick, which is true, but
I didn't even know he was still around.
And I guess he's a commentator on
He's a commentator.
It's funny that I had no idea on these things because I literally just tune out the NBA. Yeah. I don't care.
It'll make you upset what he said.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guess tonight is probably our last basketball.
Yeah, unless if they next.
Well, I'm saying if they win,
will be Thursday next week.
So I'm saying we probably won't do a show next week if we have teams in it. So this probably wound us up in basketball live from Hinie's.
And we'll be doing baseball and softball next time.
There you go.
All right. Well, for Cam Mashburn, Dusty Kaiser, Glenn Brazier, and for our producer extraordinaire Kevin Wright, I'm AJ Good. Have a great evening.
This is the xSports Network.